Hello everyone, so welcome you back to Ashok Tutorials Meghalaya's first Ctet channel where here what we will do is that today we will be discussing the syllabus for Ctet, Central Teachers Eligibility Test. Alright, so Central Teachers Eligibility Test is also like Meghalaya Teachers Eligibility Test. However, the difference is that Ctet is for state government and Ctet is for central government. So if you wish to work under state government, you have to crack Ctet, and if you wish to work under central government, you have to crack Ctet exam. Right, so Ctet exam syllabus and Ctet exam syllabus are quite similar, right, especially the pedagogical portions. So today here we will discuss about the lower primary section, or the candidates who want to become the teacher of LP section. So what you have to study, what you have to write, what are the contents, what are the subjects included here. So basically we will be talking about paper 1. All right, paper 1. So as you know, you are having your examination on the 21st of January, right? So we were not so fortunate enough because the it's already only few, I mean, like, days are left for the examination. No problem if you are not able to crack this time, so try to the best possible that you crack it in the next session or the next time, right? So whatever the video I'm uploading does not mean that you have to read it or you have to view it or you have to study through the video only for this exam. Even if you are not able to crack this time, definitely you will next time. So do start preparing accordingly. So when we want to do something, we should know what is expected of us, which means we should know the content, right? So whatever examination you are preparing for, you must know the syllabus, like what are the things to study and what are the things to skip, right? And what are the common things between the subjects. All those things you need to know, and that's why I am here for you, to guide you in the best way possible so that you crack the Ctet examination in the first attempt. So this is my attempt so that you crack your exam in the first attempt. So let's see what we have. So as you know, first of all, we all have pedagogy, right? That is child development and pedagogy, and this is coming for 30 marks. Right, how many marks? This is coming for 30 marks. All right, 30 marks. So what are the topics here? Let's see. So let me zoom it for you. All right, so this is zoomed now. All right, so let's see what we have here. So child development and pedagogy, 30 questions there. Then part A, we have child development, that is primary school child. So what are we supposed to study for primary school children? Let's see. So concept of development and its relationship with learning. So we have to know what are the different types of development, be it cognitive development, social development, moral development, physical development, emotional development, right? So all these different aspect of development we need to study. Then we also have to study principles of development of children. What are the different principles followed in the process of development and learning, and what are the interrelationship between the two, right? Then we have to also learn about influence of heredity and environment. We know that the development of the individual is affected by both the hereditary factors as well as the environmental factors. All right, then we need to also study about socialization processes, social world and children, that is teacher, parents, peers. See here, one thing I would like to tell you is that, see, the syllabus is quite similar. Let me just see where. All right, so this is the syllabus for what? This is the syllabus for, all right, language na. Okay, let's go down and see. So look here now, this is for paper 2, right? This is for paper 2, which means for class 6 to 8. Now you see concept of development and its relationship with learning, principles of development of learning, influence of heredity and environment, socialization, everything is exactly the same. See, this is paper 2 and up here is paper 1, so it is exactly the same. That's why when you guys are preparing for your examination, you try to target both the papers, that is paper 1 and paper 2, you try to target. All right, because as you know, the fees are also less for us, right? So those who belong to scheduled caste, scheduled tribe communities, the fees is also 50% discount, right? So if suppose for both the papers for general candidates it is 1200, then for both the papers for SC and ST will be only 600 rupees. So better to go for it, right? So do that. So the syllabus is very similar, very similar. So what we have to do is that if you are preparing for one, you are preparing already subconsciously or unconsciously or indirectly preparing for the next paper as well. So take it as an advantage and prepare accordingly. So as I have explained in my previous video about Piaget, Kohlberg and Vygotsky constructs and critical perspective, so these things are already there. So you need to go through all those videos which I have already uploaded, and it's very important, right? So it's very important. Now, concepts of child-centered and progressive education. So we will be learning about what are the different concepts of child-centered and progressive education. Then we will be learning about critical perspective of construct of intelligence. So there is one theory of intelligence, so that you have to study. Now, multidimensional intelligence. So intelligence can be of different types. It can be of some people are good at language learning, some are good at kinesthetic learning, some of us are good at literature, some are good at mathematics, some are good at literature, some are good at musics. So we have different type of intelligence. We also have to learn about languages and thought. Then we have to learn gender as a social construct, gender roles, gender bias and educational practice. So we need to know what is gender and what is sex. We should know the difference between gender and the sex. So then individual differences among learners, understanding differences based on diversity of language, caste, gender, community, religion, etc. As we know that when we go to a classroom, we have children coming from different backgrounds, from different religion, from different gender, from different caste, from different communities, from different language, from different area, from different cultures. So all these we should keep in mind while dealing with children in the classroom. Now, distinction between assessment for learning and assessment of learning, school-based assessment, continuous and comprehensive evaluation, perspective and practice. So different type of assessment we have to learn. So CBA, that is called not CBA, that is SBA. SBA means school-based assessment, and we have CCE. So you need to know the full form of CCE. CCE means what? Continuous and comprehensive evaluation. Now, formulating appropriate questions for assessing readiness level of learner, for enhancing learning and critical thinking in classrooms, and for assessing learner achievement. All right. So you all have studied when you did your DLED or BEd that there are different type of questions, right? Some are high level questions, some are low level questions, some are moderate level questions. So all those you have to know. Now B, let's come to B, concept of inclusive education and understanding children with special needs. 5 questions will be there, which means 5 marks will be here. So now you see, when you were doing your DLED or BEd, we all have come across like one unit where inclusive education was taught to us, right? And also we went to the institution where inclusive education is practiced. So those who belong to Garo Hills, most probably we are taken to Montfort, right? So we are taken there so that we can learn the language, we can learn the how the learners are learning, right? How the inclusive education is being imparted. So those things we learn. Now, addressing learner from diverse background, including disadvantaged and deprived. So we have to address all the children coming from disadvantaged group, from a deprived group, from deprived family backgrounds, right? So we have to address them all. Now, addressing the needs of children with learning difficulties, impairment, etc. See, we have studied about different type of difficulties, like 21 learning difficulties are there, right? Like dyslexia, dyscalculia, then dyspraxia, then autism, right? So those things you need to know in detail. Now, addressing the talented, creative, specially able children. See, now there are different type of children. Some are weak, some are intelligent, some are creative, some are fast learners, some are slow learners. So all those things we need to take into account. Now let's see number C. So learning and pedagogy. How children think and learn, how and why children fail to achieve success in the school performance. Now We as teachers, we as the guide, we as the model of the students, we need to know what are the shortcomings of the children, what are the different type of expectations they have, what are the way they think in. So we need to be well versed about it, because we are at the end of the day dealing with the kids, right, dealing with the children. So we should be able to know their mindset, we should be able to know their level of thinking, we should be able to know the way they understand things, the way they learn things, right? So all those things should be taken into account. Now, basic process of teaching and learning, children's strategies of learning, children learning as a social activity, social contact. So learn now, different methods, different learning styles, different pedagogical techniques, tactics should be used while teaching, right, to the children. Different strategies should be made, different type of teaching aids should be encouraged. Now, child as a problem solver and a scientific investigator. So we believe that, one of the psychologists believes that children are little scientists. So I want you guys to comment in the comment section who said that children are little scientists. So this already I explained in the videos of Piaget, Kohlberg and Vygotsky. So one of them, they said that child is a little scientist. So who said that? Please comment. Alternative conceptions of learning in children, understand children's errors, significant steps in learning process. Now, we as teachers, we should know where is the children going wrong, or where is the child making mistake, or which are the areas of improvement in the child, whether the child is trying his best, or the child is not trying, or the child is not enough encouraged, or whether the child is having self-doubt. So all those things we have to take into account. Now, cognition and emotion. So we need to focus on the cognitive abilities of the child, the emotional status of the child, the maturity they have, the mental status the child is having. So all those things we have to take care. Then motivation and learning. So what is motivation? See, we all as teachers, we have done lesson planning, right? So when we were doing our DLED and B.Ed, so we were doing that, right? So I hope you all know what motivation means. So motivation means before starting the class, we should be able to motivate the learners so that they are excited, they are enthusiastic, and they are encouraged, and they are ready to accept what we are going to deliver in the form of teaching. Now, factors contributing to learning, personal and environment. Learning, personal and environment. So there are different type of factors which contribute to the personal as well as environmental learning. So this is all about CDP. Now let's come down to language 1. So language 1, see, this is also quite similar with paper 2. So language 1, language comprehension. So this English subject will also come for how much? It will come for 30 marks. So language comprehension, I have already explained the techniques, how you have to read, what you have to do. So whenever you are writing a comprehension or solving a comprehension, first of all you try to read the questions. What you will do, you try to read the questions, then only you read the story, whatever the story they have given. So reading unseen passages, 2 passages, 1 prose or drama and 1 poem with questions on comprehension, inference, grammar and verbal ability. Prose passage may be literary, scientific, narrative or discursive. So what you have to do is that you have to take very much of, you have to take care like what you are reading, how you are reading. So you have to slow down your pace of reading. And as I give you the techniques, this is one of the very influential technique or very helpful technique which you can follow while solving comprehension. First of all, you read the questions and then you go and read the passage, then directly you will be getting the answers to your questions. So pedagogy of language development. So what are the different pedagogy? So learning and acquisition. So how do we learn and how do we acquire? That we will be learning the principles of language teaching. So how a language teacher should deliver his language lectures, or how a language teacher should engage the learners in the process of language teaching. Role of listening and speaking, function of language, and how children use it as a tool. So we know that listening and speaking are the 2 factors which help in the language development, right? Language skills. So function of language, how does the language function and how it helps the learners as a tool in the process of learning. A critical perspective on the role of grammar in learning a language for communicating ideas verbally and in written form. Now what happens is that we need to know the critical perspective on what, on the role of grammar, so how grammar helps in the process of learning, that we need to know. As we know that grammar plays a very vital role in language, right? If there is no grammar, there is no proper sentence, and the meaning is not understood if we do not use grammar in a form of language, speaking, reading, writing, or listening, right? Now, language skills, so there are four skills: reading, like speaking, then, all right, let me say it systematically: listening, speaking, reading, writing, right? Listening, speaking, reading, writing. So evaluating language comprehension and proficiency: speaking, reading, listening, reading, writing. See, now teaching learning materials, textbook, multimedia material, multilingual resources, then materials, multimedia. So what are these are the teaching aids. So we as teachers should make use of the textbook. How are we going to use the textbook in the classroom? How are we going to use multimedia, that is presentation, that is videos, then slides, then PDFs, then different type of YouTube channels? So how are we going to connect? Then what are the different type of resources: online resources, offline resources, the articles, the journals, the textbooks, right? So all those encyclopedias, all these things can be made use of. Then also a chart, we can make charts, we can make flashcards, we can make models, right? We can we can involve the learners, we can take the learners outside in order to connect the classroom environment with the outside world. So we as teachers should involve the learners as much as possible in the process of teaching and learning. Why? Because the children are the center of learning, not the teachers. So the teaching should be learner centered and not teacher centered. Remedial teaching: what is remedial teaching? Remedial teaching means if any child is lagging behind, which means the child is not able to understand, or the child is not able to follow the pace the teacher is trying to say, or the teacher is trying to make him understand. So what the teacher can do, the teachers can take extra effort and help the child in learning, right? Which means the slow learners can be taken extra care by the teachers. Language 2, this was language 1 and this is language 2. So language 2 will also be 30 marks. So see, language 1 and language 2 means what? Language 1 and language 2 means one language will be compulsorily, it will be English. Another language can be any language. It can be Hindi, it can be English, it can be oh no, it cannot be English. It can be Hindi, it can be Nepali, it can be Assamese, it can be Bengali. All right, so those languages you can use, or it can be Khasi or Garo. Now pedagogy, all right, comprehension. So same thing they have written here also: two unseen prose passages, discursive or literary, or narrative or scientific, with questions on comprehension, grammar, and verbal ability. So these you have to practice. All right, you have to practice very well. Pedagogy of language development, so learning and acquisition, principle of language teaching, role of listening and speaking, function of language and how children use it as a tool, critical perspective on the role of grammar in learning a language for communicating ideas verbally and in written form, challenges of teaching language in a diverse classroom, language difficulties, errors and disorders, language skills, evaluating language comprehension and proficiency, speaking, listening, reading and writing, teaching learning materials, textbooks, multimedia materials, multilingual resources of the class, remedial teaching. So this is exactly the same, so I'm not explaining that. All right, then those teachers who are from science background, you have to go with mathematics and oh no, sorry for that. Here mathematics is compulsory, right? This is, since this is paper 1, so mathematics is compulsory here. This is not like paper 2. In paper 2 you have the options, you can choose either social science or you can choose science and maths, but here you have no option, which means mathematics is compulsory in paper 1. So what are the different content of mathematics in paper 1? So mathematics will be coming for 30 marks. So 15 marks will be mathematical concept, and another 15 marks will be pedagogical concept. So in mathematics, what you have to practice? You have to practice the geometry. You must know circles, rectangles, then a rhombus, trapezium, square. So all those shapes you have to understand. Then solids around us, you have to understand the different type of solids, the surface area and volumes you study, right? So those things you should know. The numbers you should know, what are whole numbers, what are composite numbers, what are integers, what are consecutive numbers, all those even numbers, odd numbers, natural numbers, real numbers, irrational numbers, rational numbers, all these you have to know. Then addition and subtraction, so addition means plus, subtraction means minus, so these things you should know. Multiplication you should know, division you should know, measurement, kg, liters, milliliters, all these things you should know. Time, minute, second, all these things you should know. Then volume, then data handling, patterns, money, so all those things you should know. Now see, some of you might be wondering, I am from arts background and how come I will study mathematics? I am already old, I am already 40 plus, I'm already 30 plus, and I studied mathematics when I was in class 10, so 30 years back or 20 years back. So if you are having this kind of doubt, do not worry. Why do not worry? Because see, on top what you have seen just now is for coming for how many marks? It is coming for 15 marks, right? So mathematics content is coming for 15 marks. So skip it, don't study, no problem, leave it, you don't have to study this. But at least try to study these other 15 marks, which means pedagogical issue you should study, because this pedagogical issue is the same with all the subjects. Pedagogical issues, that is pedagogy is same for all the subjects, all right? So nature of mathematics you should know, logical thinking you should know, understanding children's thinking and reasoning patterns and strategies of making meaning and learning, this one you should know. This is a theory, right? So you can study very well, very nicely, no worries at all. Then place of mathematics in curriculum, which means you should know the collaboration of mathematics in all other subjects. Then community mathematics you should know, evaluation through formal and informal methods, problems of teaching, error analysis and related aspects of learning and teaching, diagnostic and remedial teaching. So all these things you can very easily study, right? Now environmental studies, so this is the, you know what, this is the lottery subject. What subject? Lottery subject, which means you can score the maximum in environment. It is very easy, it is the easiest of all the subjects. It is the easiest. If you are smart enough, if you are hardworking enough, you can score 30 out of 30 in EVS, because nothing is there. It is very simple, right? It is the easiest. So if you can score 30 out of 30 in EVS, it will be very, very helpful for you, and I can help you with EVS. In fact, I will help you with all the subjects, but with EVS also I can definitely help you. So if you feel like sir should make videos on EVS, or should make videos on mathematics, on pedagogy, on English, on language, so you can request us, you can comment in the comment section and we will see to it. All right, so let's see what we have in environmental studies content. So we have family and friends, relationships, work and play, animals, plants, food, shelter, water, travel, things we make and do. Very easy, all these are very easy. Now pedagogical issues. Now pedagogical issues again will come for 15 marks. That is concept and scope of EVS, significance of EVS, integrated EVS, environmental studies and environmental education. Then learning principles, scope and relation to science and social science, approaches of presenting concepts, activities, experimentation or project work or practical work, then discussions, then continuous and comprehensive evaluation, then teaching aids or teaching materials, then problems. All right, so this was all. So we have to study. It's very easy, right? That's why I'm not explaining. So how many subjects you have got for paper 1? Let's see once again. For paper 1 you have child development and pedagogy, that is CDP. This is subject 1. Then you have language 1, another subject, language 2, another subject, 3, mathematics 4, EVS 5. So altogether you have got 5 subjects for paper 1. All right, and all the subjects are compulsory except language. Language you can choose, either you can choose language 1 English or language 2 English. One should be English, another should be your any language you are comfortable with. If you are comfortable with Hindi, you choose Hindi. If with Garo, you choose Garo. If with Khasi, you choose Khasi. If Assamese, you choose Assamese. If Bengali, you choose Bengali. Right, so any language you have the freedom to choose. So my dear friends, the time is running out. It does not, the rules are changing every day. So I would like to request you that try to crack your Ctet examination as early as possible, because we never know when the government will include negative marking in our Ctet paper. So if they include negative marking, then we are going to have a very hard time in clearing this examination. And as you know, new rules are coming up, so in the long run we never know whether we will be eligible to write Ctet, or whether we might have to write an entrance before applying for Ctet. So the rules are becoming tough and tougher and toughest as the time is passing by. So I would like to request you to do the needful for your sake, for your future, for your family, as soon as possible. All right, so take your call and do the best, and wishing you all the best for your examination on the 21st of January 2024. So hope to see you pass with flying colors. So with this wish of mine, I end this video. So thank you everyone for staying connected with the Ashok Tutorials, Meghalaya's first MTech channel. Thank you. Hello everyone, so welcome you back to Ashok Tutorials, Meghalaya's first MTech channel. Well, today I am making this video in order to explain about the syllabus of Ctet examination, Ctet January 2024. Now see, many of our people from Meghalaya, especially from Garo Hills and Khasi Hills and Jaintia Hills, especially, means from everywhere almost. So what happens is that we are not aware of different type of examinations and different type of jobs we can acquire, we can get. So we just know about only MTet. So let me tell you friends today that MTet is for Meghalaya, that is Meghalaya Teachers Eligibility Test, right? So if you want to work under the government of Meghalaya, you have to crack MTet examination. But similarly, what happens is that if you want to work in KVS school, army schools, or JNV schools, so that is central schools, right? So what you have to do is that you have to pass your Ctet examination. Now you might be wondering about what is the full form of Ctet. So the full form of Ctet is Central Teachers Eligibility Test, right? Which means if you crack this exam, if you crack this Ctet exam, you are eligible to work as the assistant teacher of different central schools, right? So what happens here is that all right, what happens here is that, like, if you crack this Ctet examination, see, I myself also, I have already cracked this exam both for LP and UP, as I passed this exam, right? So what happens, if you pass this exam, you are qualified to apply for different government jobs under education department, right? So that's why we write Ctet exam. So many of you might not know what Ctet exam is, and the salary structure is also very good. What happens is that let me not mention the amount, but the salary is very, very good. And after every 3 years you get transfer if you're working in KVS school and all. So like 3 years, for 3 years you might be in Jammu Kashmir, 3 years you might be in Rajasthan, another 3 years you might be in Nagaland, another 3 years you might be in Tamil Nadu, then another 3 years you might be in Meghalaya, like that. It goes on rotating, right? So it's a very good opportunity for people who like to travel all around the world, no? So all around the world means, of course, this is in India, but yes, we also have KVS schools in Nepal, then we also have KVS school in Russia, and there was one more, I could not remember it now, I can't remember it now. So one more is in Bahrain, I think, one more. So today why I'm making this video is that, see, you have your examination on the 21st of January, right? So today's date is what's the date today? 11th, right? So today is 11th of December, I mean January. So see, many of you, though you have your examination on the 21st of January, you are yet not acquainted with the syllabus. You do not even know what is the syllabus, what is going to come for the exam. You have no idea at all. But let me tell you friends, whatever you wrote in your MTet examination, whatever however you studied in your MTet examination, that will definitely help you for your Ctet examination also, because all both of these examinations, that is MTET and CTET, they are just the like brothers and sisters, right? Because one is for the state, another one is for the government of India, for the central post. So you know, if you refer to my videos of MTET also, that is, enough for your CTET as well. So since you are not preparing anything, you do not know the syllabus also, subjects are also quite similar. So since you do not know the syllabus structure of CTET exam, so I'm going to explain what will come for paper 2. All right, see here, paper 1 and paper 2 is there, but many of my friends, they prefer to write for paper 2, that is UP section, because they have B.Ed degrees, so they have requested me to make videos for UP. So that's why today initially I will start making this explanation of the syllabus starting from UP. All right, so let me go down. So I think this one. All right, let me go down. 8 pages are there. All right, so this is the one. So here we go. That is, you must know that first of all there are going to be 30 questions for this one, CDP. All right, child development and pedagogy. For your MTET exam also, it was 30 questions, right? 30 questions, 30 marks. So you will have 30 questions from CDP. So they are divided unit wise. So this particular unit, that is number 1, child development and pedagogy. See, this child development and pedagogy is everywhere, right? So you have to know this, if because you are going to deal with the students, with the children, right? So you have to know the basics, and in fact in depth, you should have in depth knowledge of child development and pedagogy. So here A is given, child development, elementary school child. Elementary school child means what? Classes 6 to 8, right? So what you have to study, a concept of development in its relationship with learning. So you have to know what are the different types of development, right? Moral development, physical development, cognitive development, right? Then social development. So all those things you have to study. I have already explained all this in my MTET videos. Please browse through Ashok Tutorials channel and find it, and please go through the videos. I have also given the notes there. Now, principles of development of children. So there are different types of principles, how the child is developing. There are different types of theories, so you have to know those. Then influence of heredity and environment. See, the growth and development of the child is influenced by the heredity they have and by the environment they live in. A socialization process. So whenever you hear the word socialization, you should be very well versed with Vygotsky. So social world and children. So teacher, parents, and peers. See, when we live in a society, we interact with the people in and around us, right? Like teachers, parents, peers. Now see, Piaget, Kohlberg, and Vygotsky constructs and critical perspective. See, if you are following Ashok Tutorials channel and you are, serious about your studies and you seriously want to be the teacher, so I hope you already know that I have already uploaded the 3 videos for Piaget, Kohlberg, and Vygotsky, and I have also uploaded one more video where I have joined the combined the Piaget, Kohlberg, and Vygotsky videos in one place. Now, concepts of child-centered and progressive education. See, you also have to know about what is child-centered education, what is teacher-centered education. See, whenever we mention the word centered, the education should be like always child center, which means child should be the center of the education, which means we as teachers, we are teaching the child, right? So child should be of utmost importance. All right, so this is what it means. It should never be teacher centered, it should always be child centered. Now, critical perspective of the construct of intelligence. Now see, there are different types of theories here as well. So multiple intelligence theory is there. So linguistic intelligence, kinesthetic intelligence is there, then mathematical reasoning, logical understanding, then musical intelligence, literature intelligence. So different type of intelligence is there, you have to know that as well. Now, multi-dimensional yes, this, see, once you study that particular video, that multiple intelligence, you will know all this. Now, language and thought. See, Piaget and Vygotsky, Lev Vygotsky, they have talked a lot about language and thought, so you should know this. Gender as a social construct, gender roles, gender bias, and educational practice. See, I also have got videos on this topic. This topic is very, very important because we live in a society where, gender plays a very important role. Gender discrimination is one of the main, you know is one of the main, like, how to say one of the main aspect which influence the studies. So gender biasness we will see, gender stereotypes we will see. So these things are very very important. Now, individual differences among learners, all the learners are not same, right? Some might have more of musical intelligence, some might have more of cognitive intelligence, some of them may have more of linguistic intelligence. So everyone is not same. Understanding differences based on diversity of language, caste, gender, community, religion. Now you might be wondering, like, all right, so children are different, but on what ground? The children are different on the language they speak, the caste they belong to, the gender they have, and the community also plays a very important role. The society plays a very important role. The people in the society, they play an important role. Then the religion also plays an important role, right? Now, distinction between assessment for learning and assessment of learning. School-based assessment, continuous and comprehensive evaluation, perspective and practice. Now this is also very important, and the video is already uploaded on my YouTube channel. Please go through and find it for yourself and study. Assessment is a very important topic. So assessments are three types: assessment of learning, assessment for learning, and assessment in learning. Off, in, and on. You have to remember this. Not on. Assessment of learning, assessment as learning, assessment in learning, I think. Yes, these three. So you have to know this. Now, continuous and comprehensive evaluation, you have to know the full form. Full form means you need to know the abbreviation of this. In your exam it might be given like CCE stands for what. So you have to know it stands for continuous and comprehensive evaluation. All right. Now, formulating appropriate questions for assessing readiness levels of learners for enhancing learning and critical thinking in the classroom and assessing learner achievement. Now you have to know how to formulate, how to use different type of tactics and aspects, and different type of strategies in order to set questions according to the level of understanding of the learner. Like, there are high order questions, middle order questions, low order questions, right? So different. You have done your DLED and you have done your B8, so you are very well versed with this, I believe. So here we have already seen, see, number one, child development and pedagogy is A. So this A will come, whatever I have discussed till now, it will come for 15 marks, 1-5 questions, 1-5 marks. So now let's see B, what we have in B. Concept of inclusive education and understanding children with special needs. This one also video is available in my channel. Please go through. Now see, there are 5 questions. All right, 5 questions will come from this particular unit, that is concept of inclusive education and understanding children with special needs. So children with special needs are also known as CWSN. Now, addressing learners from diverse backgrounds including disadvantaged and deprived, addressing the needs of children with learning difficulties, then addressing the talented, creative, specially able children. All right, what happens here? You will be studying about inclusive education. Inclusive education means all the children are included, right? All the children are included. Those who are specially abled are also included, and those children who might be suffering from different type of learning disabilities like cerebral palsy or dyslexia, dyscalculia, right? Then yes, all this type of, then ADHD. So all this type of disorders the child might be suffering from are also taken into account. Now see, some children are very much talented, however some are creative, and some are specially abled child. So all these learners are taken into account according to this concept of inclusive education, and you should know it very well. Now, learning and pedagogy. Let's see what do we mean by learning and pedagogy. So this particular unit will come for 10 marks, since 10 questions are given. As you know, 1 mark 1 question, and there is no negative marking, which is a very good thing for the education department. So let's see unit C, what we have. Learning and pedagogy. How children think and learn, how and why children fail to achieve success in school performance. Now we will find out the reasons of these How? So how are the children's thinking? What are the IQ levels they have? How do they take the world? How do they see the world according to their own perspective? Why do they fail? Why they are sometimes underachievers? Why, even after having the potential, the possibilities, the opportunities, still some of the learners are left behind? So we will find out the reasons for that. Basic processes of teaching and learning, children's strategies of learning, learning as a social activity, social context of learning. Now see, according to NEP 2020, we believe that we should be able to, as a teacher, connect the classroom environment with the outside world, which means whatever we are teaching as teachers should not remain inside the classroom only, which means the child should be able to apply what they are learning in the classroom. For example, you're a mathematics teacher and you are teaching the child about calculations, about how to plus, how to minus, how to count money, right? So in that case, whenever the child goes to buy sweets or stationeries, the child will know how much he have given and how much he is supposed to get back the cash. So this is how the calculations help us outside the classroom, right? And we should also check out the children outside, especially for science activities, for geographies, practicals, for hands-on training, for hands-on activities, right? Because we should involve the child in the process of teaching and learning as much as possible. Why do you think so? Because the teachers are the because the children are the center, right? Now, child as problem solver and a scientific investigator. So child, I have already explained about scaffolding. So scaffolding, you will know what is scaffolding. You should know that scaffolding means temporary help which the child needs, even though he can do it, but he can do in a better way when he gets support from the more knowledgeable other MKO, right? Now, alternative conceptions of learning in children, understanding children's error as significant steps in the learning process. So we all know that children are coming from different background, so they have different type of abilities and disabilities, right? Now, cognition and emotions, you have to know, see, whenever you hear the word cognition, cognitive, you should understand that it is related with the mental abilities. What it is related with? It is related with the mental abilities of the learner, right? Emotions, you know very well: anger, happiness, laughter, sadness, sentiments. So all comes under emotions, right? Motivation and learning, see, as teachers we have prepared lesson plans, right, in our teachers training programs. So we know that motivation is one of the very crucial part of our lesson plan, which means we have to motivate the children, we have to encourage them, we have to make, or we have to present a topic which we are going to teach to the children in such a way that they feel motivated, they feel energetic, they feel enthusiastic, in order to learn what we are going to teach them. So motivation plays a vital role in the process of teaching and learning. Now, factors contributing to learning personal and environmental. Factors which contribute to the process of learning in personal as well as environmental aspects. All right, so this was all about child development and pedagogy. What is that? Child development and pedagogy. So I have discussed, what have I discussed? I have discussed UP Ctet 2024 UP sections class 6 to 8 syllabus for child development and pedagogy, which will be for 30 marks, and 30 questions will be given to you. So it is very easy, my dear friends. You believe me, you trust me, you gotta trust me, which means you have to go through the videos which I have uploaded. Nothing extra you have to do. Just go through the video, understand the video. If you do not understand, repeat it. And as you know that videos, we can adjust the speed of the video. If you think I am going too fast, you slow down the pace. Setting is there, right, in YouTube, so you can slow down my video and watch. If you think I am going too slow, then you speed up the video and go fast. And please don't forget to pause the video and write the notes. You have to write down all the important notes I have given. See, I know that I have not made specifically videos much for Ctet, but for Mtet it is available, and it is all related, whether you are from DLEd, B.Ed, or you have done your B.Ed or you have done your DLEd. You're going to go for Mtet or Tet or Ctet. Pedagogy is related everywhere. So once your pedagogy is strong, you can do wonders. So please keep that in mind and start preparing. All right, and please don't forget to hit that fat like button. Do subscribe to my channel, and please kindly share it with your friends, because sharing is caring, right? So we all want to see our friends getting success, right? So we as well-wishers should help our friends who are in need of such kind of videos, such kind of content, such kind of notes, so they can approach us. And yes, I have opened the Telegram channel. So in my YouTube channel there are 1800 something plus subscribers, but unfortunately in our Telegram group, where I share the updates, the notes, the whatever the update is there for my channel, for the different type of examinations, question papers and all, I share it in the Telegram group. So those, and let me tell you the number of Telegram group members. There are only 208, which means more than 1600 are not there in the Telegram group, which is a loss for you, not for me but for you, right? Because you are the aspirant, you want this examination, you want to crack this examination, so you have to know it, right? You have to know it. So do show your support and do connect with Ashok Tutorials, especially in the Telegram group, because that is where we reach one another. So if you're really serious with your studies, if you're really serious with your careers, I will put the link below for the Telegram group. So kindly download the Telegram and join the channel, right? So all right, so let's continue. So now let's go to language. So language is also similar, right? Language is also similar. So what happens here is that language, so part A is what? Language and comprehension. So this will also come for 15 marks, which means you will be getting 15 questions. So what is there? Reading unseen passages, 2 passages, 1 prose or drama and 1 poem with questions on comprehensions, inference, grammar and verbal ability. Prose passages may be literary, scientific, narrative or discursive. So what are they saying? Confused, right? Yes. So they are saying that, see my dear friends, comprehension is a very beautiful topic. I personally love comprehension like anything. So comprehensions are very easy. Why? How can they be easy? Do you need my suggestions? Yes, you do, right? All right, great. So let me guide you. So if you want to score well in comprehension, what you have to do is that what I do, I tell you. So first of all, questions you read, questions will be there, different type of questions. Whatever the story is given, whatever the comprehension is given there, accordingly the questions are given below, right? So after reading the comprehension, you have to answer those questions. So that is what we call comprehension. But do it ulta. Do it ulta means what? Do it opposite. People, they read the content first and then they see the questions, but you do one thing, that is you read the questions first. Suppose, what story will I tell you? I don't remember any story as of now, but all right, let's talk about COVID. Okay, COVID. So suppose a paragraph or a comprehension is given about COVID, like the COVID started in the year so and so in 2019, then that and that and then like the whole story is written there. After that, the questions are given, in which year was the COVID started. So of course, when you go through the passage, you will see that it was started in the year 2019. So accordingly, you have to answer. And once you're going through the questions first, then automatically it clicks your mind. Oh, I that particular thing is there up there in the second stanza or in the third stanza, like that. So this is very important and very easy, so do not lose any mark here, right? Don't lose any mark here. Very easy, very simple. All you have to do is that you need to have confidence in yourselves. Your confidence will make you or will destroy you. So if you have good confidence, positive attitude, enough of preparations, then nothing can stop you, believe me. So A is done. Let's see now B, what we have in B. So here also you'll have 15 questions. How many questions? 15 questions. So pedagogy and language development. See, as I was telling you, right? I told you that if you are serious with your CDP, that is child development and pedagogy, which is the easiest. It is the easiest of all. So if you're serious with pedagogy, nothing can stop you. But if you're not serious with pedagogy, nothing can help you. So pedagogy is coming up here also. So what is there? Learning and acquisition. See, the same thing. Pedagogy is all about learning and how the child acquires. It is all about the children. Now, principles of language teaching. So what are the different principles we need to follow? The language teacher has to follow when he or she is trying to teach a particular language, be it English, be it Hindi, be it Mizo, be it Garo, be it Khasi, be it Nepali, Bengali, Assamese. Now, role of listening and speaking, function of language, and how children use. All right. See, we have different type of language skills. 4 language skills specially. So what is that? Listening, reading, writing, and speaking. Yes, speaking. So first of all, what do we learn? Which skills are we going to learn first? Of course, we listen first, right? So listening skills we acquire first. Listening. After listening, what do? We begin to read. So after listening comes no, not read. First comes listening, then comes speaking, then comes reading, and at the end comes the writing, right? So these are the skills you have to master, or the child has to master. Now, IT as a tool. Now, how is information technology helping us in the present scenario in the process of teaching, learning? You need to keep in mind. So computer is important. Computer, basics of computer you have to know, my dear friends. You cannot skip it. You cannot say, oh, I am old, oh, I have a big family, I do not have a laptop, I do not have a computer, I've never touched a computer. But believe me, if you are watching my video right now, you have already know, or you already have learned about the basics of computer. Now, what is a computer? A computer is just like a mobile phone. So you're watching me, you're watching Ashok tutorials right now, right? That's how you're coming to know about my syllabus explanation. So you're watching right now, which means you know how to operate your mobile phones. So laptop is nothing more than this. Of course, it has got a big screen and it has got a number of keypads. By looking at the keypads, you get confused. So do not worry, you don't have to get confused. So just imagine that laptop or that desktop is just your mobile phone but with a bigger screen. So that's the only difference they have in the basic level. All right. So don't think like, oh, this computer or laptop, I understand nothing. You know it. If you don't know, how come you are watching my video right now? So don't underestimate yourselves, right? So critical perspective on the role of grammar in learning a language for communicating ideas verbally and in written form. Now, what are the different perspective on the role of grammar? So you know that whenever we are trying to learn any language, grammar is very much important, right? We should know how to connect the sentences. We should know what are we talking about. We should know how to frame a question. We should know how to make it interrogative question, how to ask questions, how to say a statement, how to maintain our tone, how to maintain our dialogues or whatever we are doing. So grammar plays a vital and a crucial role in the process of learning of languages. The challenges of teaching language in a diverse class, language difficulties, errors, and disorders. Now, what is this? This is talking about the language diversity. As we know, India is a diverse country, right? So we believe in unity in diversity, right? So we have diverse culture, which means the children are coming from different family backgrounds. They are coming from Khasi backgrounds, they are coming from Garo backgrounds, Bengali backgrounds, Assamese background, right? Then Nepali background, then from Mizo backgrounds, from Hajong backgrounds, from Dalu backgrounds, from Koch backgrounds, right? I don't have to go far, from Jaintia backgrounds. So they speak different type of languages. What do? They speak different type of languages. So when in school we are explaining to them in English, we are, you know, explaining in such a language which is not common to any of them. English is not the mother tongue of anybody in the classroom. So some of them may have a good language skills, which means they can learn or understand the English language in a better way as compared to the other. So these are some of the challenges, which we have to keep in mind when we are dealing with the children in a diverse language classroom. All right, language skills I already told you. LRSW. Then evaluating LRSW. What do you mean by LRSW? L means listening, S means speaking, R means reading, W means writing. Remember this. Evaluating language comprehension and proficiency, speaking, listening, reading, writing. See, it came right. SLRW. Now, teaching, learning materials, textbook, multimedia materials, multilingual resource of the class. This is very important. So we as teachers, we know that we are supposed to use different kind of teaching aids or teaching materials in order to make our teaching more effective and more attractive and more engaging, right? So we as teachers, what do? We try our best to make use of charts, to make use of flashcards, to make use of blackboards, to make use of whiteboards, to make use of multimedia room, the digital content, the videos, the hands-on, the activities, the practicals, the experiments. So all those things we do. We the best teachers, we are the best teachers, right? We are the leaders. In fact, not the leaders, but we are the ones who are leading the future generations, right? So we are the builders of the nations. Why? How? Because the future generations are who? The future generations are the children, present, current children who are in schools. In the present scenario, they are going to lead the world in the long run, right? So we are building them. We are making them ready. We are, helping them to develop in such a way that we will have a better world to live on, right? So we cannot afford to teach them in a boring way, but what we have to do is that we have to make our teaching a best, best of the best, which means it should be so effective that the children or the students, when they go to higher classes, they should not regret learning from you, but in fact they should be able to say that so and so teacher, so and so sir, ma'am have helped me so much that I have not forgotten what he or she taught me in class 5, and I still remember what she taught me, and this makes my work or my studies more easier, which means whatever sir has taught me in class 7, it is still in my mind, which means the sir has taught him so well that he can relate with what he is learning in class 10. So that should be the aim every one of us should do. I was so unfortunate that I did not have a good mathematics teacher when I was in higher secondary. So my teacher, because of her, what happened is that I could not excel in mathematics. So I don't want any of my students or any of my friends or any of my friends daughters and sons, or friends child, and or everybody, not to suffer with such stuffs which we have suffered, right? See, if we want to change something in the society, what we have to do is that, of course, we know we have to change ourselves, right? So that's why we are changing. So what I did not get, I should try my best to give it to the children, right? What you did not get, see, you're watching my video right now. Some of you might be aiming to become IAS, some of you might have aimed to become LDA, some of you might have aimed to become scientist, but unfortunately for one or the other reason you could not do it, right? And forget about those things. Our aim as of now is to become teachers, but how many of us successfully will become teachers, we never know. So now also, suppose we are on the way to become teachers, right? Effective teachers of our country. So unfortunately, if some of you will not be able to crack these tough exams and not become teachers, so what will you do? You will train your child to achieve your dream. What you could not achieve, you will expect your child to achieve that. Or you will expect that I could not become a teacher, so I will try my level best to help my child become the teacher, so that I see myself in my child as a successful human, right? So we believe that our child's success is our success. So this is what you believe as well, I hope. So why am I telling you so much of all this? So that you know that nothing is easy, right? Nothing is easy. So a lot of sacrifices needed, right? All right, so let's go to the next one now. Let's continue with the second part, that is language 2. I mean the different subjects. See, you have two language papers, all right? This one, what we have discussed, is language 1. This one, language 1. This is your language 1, and language 2 comes here, which means compulsorily you will be writing English. English is a compulsory language, right? And then you have an option of choosing. If you're Mizo, you choose Mizo. If you're Bengali, you choose Bengali. If you're Khasi, you choose Khasi. If you're Garo, you choose Garo, right? And if you're it does not mean that Garos, they cannot choose Hindi, or non-Garos cannot choose Garo, or Khasis cannot choose Hindi, or those who speak Hindi, they cannot choose Khasi. So whatever language you know perfectly in an excellent manner, you choose that language, all right? Whichever language you're comfortable with, you choose that language. I myself, I wrote in Garo. One of my language was Garo, so I have written in Garo, right? One was English compulsorily, and then secondly we have optional subjects, optional language paper, which you can choose according to your own expertise, right? So language 2 will also be for how many marks? For 30 marks. All right, see, the syllabus is same only, exactly same, right? Still, let me read for you. See, comprehension will be there, so this will be for 30 marks. 30 questions will be there, 30 marks. So language 2, it will have comprehension. So what will you have in comprehension? You will have 2 unseen prose passages, discursive or literary or narrative or scientific, with questions on comprehension, grammar, and verbal abilities. So you will have 2 comprehension here. So comprehension rules I have already told in the beginning. I will not repeat it again and again. Please you rewind the video and watch. I have already explained how to study your comprehension, so I will not explain anymore here. So pedagogy and language. See, learning and acquisition, we already know. Principles of language teaching, different principles are there, right? Then role of listening and speaking, function of language, and how children use it as a tool. So language, how the language helps us to develop as humans, so that we have to know. Now, critical perspective on the role of grammar in learning a language for communicating ideas verbally in written form. So, as humans, we need a medium to talk. We are social beings. We cannot stay in isolation, because no man is an island, right? So, but then see, if I go to Nagaland, if I don't know how to talk in their local language, if I do not know how to talk in Nagamese, then I will be left out. So if I go to Khasi Hills and I don't know how to speak in Khasi, I will be left out. I will be talking in only sign languages, right? I will be talking in sign languages, or I will be talking in Hindi, and the Khasi friends will try to understand and they will speak in Khasi. Then again, I will try to understand. So what are we doing? What are we trying to do? We are trying to convey a message. Suppose I go to, not I, because I know a little bit about Khasi and Panar languages, right? So I know, but let's suppose coming from North India, somebody from Delhi or somebody from Rajasthan is going to Shillong, and then he is trying to ask for a packet of what should I say? All right, for a bottle of juice. So he want to buy a bottle of juice. All right. So he will try to talk. He will try to show some gestures. He will try to explain because he has something inside his mind which he want to convey to the other person. So how is he going to convey? He can convey it in the form of writing. He can convey it in the form of speaking. He can convey it in the form of what? In the form of verbal, this one, verbal language, which means he can talk, he should talk, or he will talk, right? But then when we have no means to communicate, what do we do these days? When we struggle, what do? We take the help of internet, right? Suppose I want to buy Coca-Cola, what will I do? I will in Google search a picture of Coca-Cola and I will show it to the shopkeeper. The shopkeeper will understand, oh, this fellow, he wants this. So that's why, in order to make our the process of learning, I mean, in order to make our interaction to be more easy and convenient, we learn languages, right? So languages, they help us in a various way in order to communicate, in order to express our ideas, our beliefs. We use language as the medium of learning, right? So what is language? Language is just a medium which helps us to convey our messages from one person to another, right? Now, critical perspective on the role. All right, then challenges of teaching in a diverse class. See, all these are the same syllabus. Evaluating language comprehension, proficiency. All right. Everything is same, exactly same. Which means what? See, now, my dear friends, you have to, straighten up your ears and listen to what I'm going to say. Now, we have two language papers. One, or let me just take a general example. One you will take English, another one you will take Hindi. So you are taking these two languages. Now what you have seen is that, oh, when I was preparing for English, I have automatically prepared for Hindi also because the syllabus is same, right? Only the language, only the format is different, but the content, the syllabus content is same for both. So what do you understand by this? You don't have to read separately. When you are preparing for your Ctet exam or Ctet exam, you don't have to study Hindi separately and English separately. If you are studying English, you are preparing for Hindi automatically. If you are studying Hindi, you are preparing for English as well. So this is how it is going to help. But you gotta play smart, right? You don't need to work hard anymore. Working hard, everybody work hard, but working hard will not help you, but working smart will definitely. So that's why, my dear friends, be smart. You gotta be smart, then only you gotta crack this exam and become an esteemed, assistant teacher of the central schools. So what you have to do is that you gotta play smart. How do you play smart? You play smart when you know your syllabus very well, what to study, what to skip. When you know that you should refer to different type of question papers. Previous year's question papers play a very, very vital role. So my dear friends, if you are smart, if you are serious, to be more precise, if you are serious, you are already having the 5 years, 10 years question papers with you. But if you're not having any type of question papers, if you do not even have a syllabus, do you think you're serious about it? I don't think so. And no more time is left. So it's already the 11th hour. So you gotta be very serious now. All right. So try to, try to play smart. Try to, don't read unnecessary stuffs. So only read the relevant stuffs. And how will you find out what are the relevant stuff, what to read? How do you find out? You find it out by following Ashok tutorials. So if you're watching the videos, the content of my channel, you will do wonders. Believe me, trust me. Just follow it and do it and try to see the results. And yes, of course, we are waiting for the Ctet result now. So once Ctet results comes out, we will see how well our candidates have done, right? So we are waiting for that great day to come. So let's proceed. Let's see what we have next. Oh, here one thing I can see which is kind of new to you might be, that is remedial teaching. Do you see that? Remedial teaching. What is remedial teaching? Remedial teaching means to teach again, which means suppose you have explained a chapter, suppose the chapter gravitation to a class 9 children, so suppose they have not understood, suppose out of 40 students 10 of them have not understood your chapter. Does it mean it is teacher's fault? No, it is not teacher's fault. You have given your best, right? You have given your best, but maybe the child is a slow learner, so they might have not fully understood what you have taught to them. So in this case, what we need is remedial teaching. Remedial teaching means to teach again. So you might try to take extra effort, and you may ask those students to stay back after the class and take 1 hour or half an hour extra class and try to teach the same chapter again to them, right? Or these kind of children should be given special treatment. So by special treatment I mean that they need extra time, so they need to be taught again if they have not understood. So this is called remedial teaching, right? Now let's see number 4, that is mathematics and science. See, here I have taken the example of mathematics and science. It can be social science as well. So since I belong to mathematics background, I have taken this mathematics and science. I mean, I belong to mathematics and science background, yes, so that's why I have taken mathematics as sound. Of course, science, of course, we will try to see for social science as well. So for this video, let's continue with mathematics and science. So here, mathematics content we will see, and see, this mathematics and science will be for how many marks? It will be for 60 marks, which means maths will be for 30 and science will be for 30, right? Then number system, mathematics contains, let's see, number system, knowing our numbers, playing with numbers, whole numbers, negative numbers, integers, fractions. So all these topics you will find from classes 6 to 8 textbooks. So please try to find out, all right, what are numbers. Everybody knows. How do we play with numbers? What are whole numbers? So all these things you should know, right? Now let's see algebra. Excuse me. So algebra, introduction to algebra. You should know ratios, you should know proportions, you should know basic geometrical ideas, you should have understanding elementary shapes, 2D shape, 3D shapes, symmetry. Excuse me. Then constructions, all right, using straight edge, scales, protractor, compasses, how do we use it? Then mensuration you should know, data handling you should know, right? So these things you should know. So basics of geometry you should know, and basics of algebra you should know, right? And regarding this, regarding mathematics, see, if you do not understand by looking at the name of the chapters, then how do you think you are going to crack it? So you have to know all these basics. Of course, I do know that you might have already forgotten it because you are not from mathematics background, so you have, but believe me, my dear friends, it will not take much time for you to reconnect to your previous knowledge, because you already have in the back of your mind, you have already heard these terms, you have already studied mathematics in your class 10, at least till class 10 you have studied, right? So it will not take much time, maybe a day or two will help you, right? Then pedagogical issues. See, as I always used to say, that pedagogy is everywhere. So ठीक you suppose you do not know anything about mathematics, you don't know how to do mensuration, how to do algebra, how to do geometry, data handling, you know nothing, ठीक forget it, fine, no need to do. But if you are seriously studying your pedagogy, see in part B we have pedagogical issues. From here you can score 10 marks, and scoring 10 out of 30 is enough for you, practically speaking, enough for you. You don't have to go for higher, you don't have to aim for anything higher than that. What do I mean to say by this? I mean to say that you do not have to pass individually. It does not mean that if you don't get 15 or 20 you will fail in mathematics, not like that. Even if you are going to get 10 in mathematics, still you are going to pass, but the required marks should be reached, which means for in case of SC and ST, I think it is 82, right? 82 or 84 it was. So you have to get that much in order to pass it all over, you should get that much, all right? So that should be your aim. Now, nature of mathematics you have to know, logical thinking you have to be well versed in, then place of mathematics in curriculum. Now see, mathematics is involved in all the subjects, be it history, be it science, be it geography, be it politics, be it English, everywhere mathematics is there, right? Now language of mathematics. Now see, language of mathematics means what? It means what are the structure of the language used in teaching mathematics, that we should know. That community of mathematics we should know. Evaluation, how do we evaluate the child mathematically. Then remedial teaching coming here, problem solving, problem of teaching, what are the different type of problems a mathematics teacher might face. So all those things we have to understand, right? Now let us go to science and see, I think yes, not I think, but these topics are coming from class 6. So when you pick up the textbook of class 6 you will know. So 30 marks will be there, so 20 marks you will get from the content of science. Oh sorry, I was saying mathematics or what. So 20 questions will come from the content of science and 10 will come from pedagogical issues again. So you have to know food, sources of food. What are the different sources of food, what are the different components of food, what are cleaning food, materials of daily use, the world of the living, moving things, people and ideas, how things work, electric current and circuits, magnets, natural phenomena, natural resources. So very very easy topics, very basics. So if I get the time I'll explain to you all those, all right? And you should let me know, actually you don't talk to me now, that's the problem. You should comment, you should say, sir please make a video on this particular topic, sir help us in this topic. But if you don't tell me, how am I going to know? So you have to speak your mind. If you do not speak, we don't understand, right? We cannot take it for granted that, oh, that person will understand what I want to say without saying it. So you have to speak it out, right? Let's go to pedagogical issues. See, in maths also 10 mark is coming for pedagogy, in science also 10 mark is coming for pedagogy. That's why I'm saying repeatedly from the day one of my channel that pedagogy is very very important. Now pedagogy, nature and structure of science you should know, natural science, aims and objectives you should know, understanding and appreciating science you should know, approaches to science you should know, integrated approaches you should know, observation and experiment discovery, method of study of science you should know, innovations you should know, text materials or teaching aids you should know, evaluation, cognitive and psychomotor affective domains, these are the different type of domains you should be well versed in. Then problems related to science, content and remedial teaching. So these are the things you should know, right? These are the things you should know in science. See, the same thing will go for social science as well. let's go to social science. Let's continue here only. I'll finish it off this in this video only, right? So see, there it is just like MTET exam, which means if you are, this is an optional subject, all right? Suppose, see, all right, let me explain from the beginning. So in the beginning, what we have seen, you might say later on, nah, like sir did not tell us. Yes, so see, this is paper 2 for classes 6 to 8 elementary stage. Okay, so here you have got CDP, child development and pedagogy. So this will be compulsory for everyone. Those from arts background also you have to write this, and those from science background also you have to write this part. Then language is also compulsory for arts also, for science also. By arts I mean social science. Then language 2 is also compulsory for arts background also, for science background also, right? But this one is not compulsory. Mathematics and science is not compulsory. Those who are coming from science background, they have to write this paper, which means mathematics and science. And those who are coming from arts background, you have to go with social science or social studies, which we will discuss now, right? All right, let's discuss. So as you know, social science has got history, geography, civics and economics, right? So you will have 60 questions altogether in social science. You have 60 questions, which means social science will come for 60 marks altogether. So what are the content? So first of all, we have history. When, where and how we should know about something. The earliest societies we should know. First farmer and herders we should know. The first cities, early states, new ideas, the first empire, contacts with distant island, political developments, culture and science, new kings and kingdoms, then sultans of Delhi, architecture, creation of an empire, social change, regional cultures, the establishment of company power, rural life and society, colonialism and tribal societies, the revolt of 1857 to 58, women and reform, challenging the caste system, the nationalist movement, then India after independence. So all these things you will find where? You will find it in the history. So you have to learn about this. So do let me know what you need help with. Now geography. So those who, some of you might be good at history, some of you might be good at geography, some of you might be good at civics, some of you might be good at economics. So accordingly, you please prepare yourself. Now geography as a social study and as a science. Planet, Earth and its solar system, globe, environment in its totality, natural and human environment, air, water, human environment, settlement, transport and communication, resources, types, natural and human, agriculture. So friends, if you are coming from social science background and you need any help, do comment it in the comment section and we shall try our best to solve your problem. Let's go to social and political life. Diversity. So this is civics basically. Diversity, government, local government, making a living, democracy, state government, understanding media, unpacking gender, the constitution, parliamentary government, the judiciary, and social justice and the marginalized. So all these you gotta know. All right, which means what? It means that geography will come for 10 marks, history will come for 10 marks, then what all right, let me just go back once. All right, so you got 60 marks here, right? So wait, let me analyze it first before telling you. All right, so here not 10 marks. So history, then geography, and then civics, all together they are coming for 40 marks, 40 marks. All right, then pedagogical issues. See, here you are very lucky, my dear friends. Those who are coming from social science background or arts background, you are very lucky. How are you lucky? You are lucky because you are getting 20 marks for CDP here. So as I said that CDP is there in all the subjects. So in social science you have got child development and pedagogy for 20 marks, which means if your first part, that is child development and pedagogy, is clear, then you can definitely score 20 out of 20 here. I mean 20 out of 60 here. All right. Now, in pedagogical issues, what are we going to study? Concept and nature of social science or social studies we will study. Then classroom processes, activities and discourse we will study. Developing critical thinking we'll study. Inquiry empirical evidence we'll study. Problem of teaching social science or social studies we'll study. So sources, primary and secondary types of sources we will study. And then project work and evaluation also we will be studying. All right. So these are the things we should know about social science in pedagogical study. All right, so this was the syllabus for Ctet examination 2024. So you are starting your examination on the 21st. Starting means you have your examination on the 21st of January, right? So please get ready for that. And so I have done everything. So what we have in Ctet paper 2, we have CDP, we have language 1, we have language 2, and then we have our own subjects, that is, be it science and mathematics, or be it this one, what we say, social science, right? So this was all in this video. Thank you everyone for staying connected with the Shock tutorials. Thank you.